So the mid to late 1990s were really exciting and heady days for libraries, higher education, and also the library and information profession. There were key people: Sir Brian Follett, Derek Law, Reg Carr, Mary Auckland, Chris Rusbridge, and many others, and also some very important organisations like JISC and Curl, the British Library, AHRC, ESRC, etc., etc. And we were really at the dawn of the online revolution. It's amazing to think about that now. We had a seminal international workshop in Warwick in 1995 when we established certain principles: partnerships, international collaboration, cross-sectoral working, and cross-domain working.
What became very clear during that meeting that this was something that affected us all, not one particular organisation, not one sector, and that the only way that significant progress was going to be able to be made was to create a mechanism for sharing practical experience, because there was very little practical experience at that point.
In 2000, I was appointed CEO of the British Library, and in the same year was chair of the Preservation Conference in New York. And we really set the agenda for the next decade, really. We had an 8-point manifesto: coordinated institutional roles, sharing experience and solutions, joint R&D, powerful advocacy, distributed responsibilities, archiving the web, and being inclusive and independent. Now, doesn't that sound exactly like the DPC?
So it started with that very collegiate approach, and that has been maintained, which is fabulous, because it's just key to any real progress. And as you know, Neil Beagrie then established the DPC following the Warwick workshop and following that recommendation. And then later I was the first full-time member of staff, indeed the only member of staff for a little while.
Over 20 years ago, I was asked by JISC to lead on the founding of the Digital Preservation Coalition. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I was seconded for 50% of my time for 2 years. So effectively had 12 months to move from a sheet of paper, perhaps with Digital Preservation Coalition at the top, to exiting with an organisation which is established legally and employ its own staff.
I became the first chair of the DPC. I remember the launch party in the House of Commons in 2002. And what's thrilling for me is that 20 years on, these early principles still hold, and the DPC is going from strength to strength.
So over the last 20 years, it's been a huge pleasure for me to see how the DPC has grown, how the DPC staff, the members of the DPC boards, and the DPC members themselves have sustained and grown the coalition into the organisation it is today, particularly to see how it's become more international in its focus in recent years.
to me if somebody asks me what the DPC means to its members. Firstly, advocacy. The DPC amplifies our voices and makes us much stronger together than we are apart. Secondly, tools that we need to do our jobs, from being able to train novices through the really technical information in the technology watch reports and things like that, right up to hints and tips on how to deal with the chief executive. And then there's the people aspects. Therapy is actually one of the words that occurs to me quite a lot. It's a really good mutual support network, second to none in that respect. And then friendship. The DPC staff and the DPC members are also open and helpful and willing to share, and it's always a real joy to attend a DPC event.
I have a whole range of favourites when it comes to DPC resources, but my current favourite is the DPC Rapid Assessment Model. It's simple, it's quick, and requires minimal effort.
The DPC RAM, one of the most useful advocacy tools ever produced.
Digital preservation is anonymous.
The DPC's Technology Watch publications, they're enormously informative.
Web Archiving and Preservation Working Group.
They are self-paced learning trainings which allow for a perfect work-life balance.
The scholarships, because they help members to build their digital preservation capacity and capability. They certainly helped me.
The DPC Handbook.
A Digital Preservation Handbook.
Our 3-day sprint with the Digital Preservation Coalition to develop our first digital preservation policy.
We love the DPC because of its professional networks and its expertise.
And because of the DPC Awards.
Digital Preservation Awards. There's so much amazing work showcased, especially student work, which doesn't get a platform anywhere else, really.
What Rimpa loves most about DPC is the opportunities that it brings for global connection.
The thing I love most about the DPC is that whatever it does makes digital preservation a bit more accessible.
The thing that I love about the Digital Preservation Coalition is people. Not just the people who run it, although they are fantastic, but the fact that they recognize preservation as a social challenge, and they treat it as such.
A friendly community.
Being able to draw on the knowledge and experience of the wider DPC membership.
Here in Australia and New Zealand, the thing we like best about the DPC is the chance to connect with colleagues across the world.
Being part of a supportive network.
Sharing good practice with others working on similar things.
The sense of community.
It's the people. All that passion and all that knowledge tied up in people. Definitely people.
The DPC is a wonderful community. It's made up of diverse institutions and experts from all over the world who are willing to help anyone. What an amazing, wonderful community the DPC is.